alive! It's alive! It's alive!
I want to play a game.
Hello and welcome to the Sounds from the Grave podcast. My name is Yussef.
My name is Vania.
And I'm Kyle.
And don't just stare at it, eat it.
I eat it.
We're back with another episode. All three of us are here this time because V wasn't able to be in our last episode due to some time constraints. Unfortunately, that would have been fun, but it was also like a 2-hour episode, and it was kind of chaotic, mostly because you weren't there. It was literally like mom left the house, the kids are by themselves.
We really needed you to keep us in check, V.
There was like a good chunk of us talking about Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we really needed you. It was like, oh man.
For quite a bit.
And that's what happens when I leave you guys alone. That sucks.
Yep.
Like I think it's safe to say
we were left
that,
unsupervised.
It's safe to say that like 25 minutes of that episode was Fast and Furious related.
Fast and Furious.
Because like the first like couple of bits and then like the end of it was almost nothing but Fast and Furious.
Yep.
Well, but we are here to stay on topic, and so if you guys haven't recognize the quote, it is that we are talking about American Psycho.
American Psycho. One of my all-time favorite horror movies that I'm surprised we never got the chance to talk about until now.
Oh, I knew, yeah. All of us being big American Psycho fans, I was like, it's a no-brainer. We have to do it at some point.
Oh, yeah. And,
well, the thing is, like, I haven't seen this movie in so long, and it just felt like I've seen this movie all over again, and I was like this the entire time. I'm like,
and see, me and Yussef have both read the book as well. And if you're a fan of the movie, I highly recommend reading the book once. Once is all you need. You're never going to want to read it again. Probably it is
disturbing to say the least.
It is disturbing's an understatement. It is some of the sickest, most grossest shit I've ever read, and it's just it's all over the place.
And also I love it.
But then there's also like so many funny, hilarious chapters in it and stuff. It'll make you love it, but it'll show you how much they had to take out of this movie versus the book.
Yeah, it's honestly surprising.
Yeah, because if you thought some of the scenes in this movie were bad, oh, buddy.
The book is a lot crazier.
You have read nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
There is some really sick,
deprived
shit.
There's an audio book on Amazon for free.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh no.
I listened to it. I listened to the audio book on Audible while I was at work a couple years ago. I was like at work and I listened to it, and I even had to pause at certain parts. I was like, holy shit, I should not be listening to this.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, I should not be reading this, and I'm at work.
But it's so great too, because what's hilarious is the fact that a lot of those manly alpha men have watched this movie or read the book and take it the wrong way and don't understand that.
No clue what it means.
It's a fucking parody of they're literally making fun of people like that, like everything.
Yeah. It's honestly just like a whole thing, social commentary on toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
The 1980s.
Yeah.
Consumerism, materialism, and just like anything to do with like hard right, like Republican culture.
Yeah, the book and the movie we're talking about today, it was actually directed and written by women.
Yup.
And so that was
which I think
was another great thing.
Which I think is what makes it even better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because I think you see it more of from the female point of view of like what a toxic male really is from a female's point of view.
Yeah.
And
right.
Yeah, I think it definitely like because it's so much more like exaggerated to the point where you're like, yeah, this is what people actually see sometimes though.
Yeah, there's even like some scenes where people said that you could say it has a little bit hints of feminism throughout because
Oh yeah.
of the way that the women see the men and is portrayed on the movie.
Yeah, it definitely should be, observed because, it could be when we were talking about it, might be some triggering things, but guys, it's just a movie. It's just a book overall, so just remember that. But we are all here to learn, and hopefully we never encounter a cycle like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody who takes it the wrong way and thinks that they're Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Us women, we're always like looking over our shoulders, and we always think like for example, today's a great example. Actually, I was coming out of work, and I'm just trying to leave, and then some dude that obviously looks homeless, and like I was like, I have no idea if he's gonna do any harm to me. He's like, "Hey, do you know if there's a lawyer's office around here?" And I'm like,
Mm.
I was like, I don't know. Just like, yeah, I was like, yeah, it's somewhere in this building. And I just kind of ran off because I'm like, you don't know what men's intentions are half the time and if they're there to hurt you or not. So, yeah, trauma. Yay, we love it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep. That's awful. Like I hate that. Like y'all have to like just in
Did you have to live like that?
situation,
Yeah.
just everyday situations like that. It's like where like me and Yussef and other people can like walk and just be fine. It's like there's still like a little small sense of like dread. And is this person going to hurt me with you and other
Yeah.
women?
Yeah, it's wild. But that is still a thing.
Wow, this took a dark turn, but let's actually talk about
Anyway.
the
I
movie.
mean, it's a dark movie and a
It
dark
is
book.
a dark fucking movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and like if you ever read the book, I will like spoiler. There, like besides the sick and really sick, twisted shit in it, there is unfortunately there is some use of racial slurs
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that throughout as well. So you just have to if that's if you don't want to read that, then I don't read the book.
Yeah, I mean it's not like we're telling you to go out of your way or like force you to read it. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, if you're interested in it and if it's something that you enjoy the movie for what it is, as like what it's trying to say,
yeah,
and want to like kind of read more into it, then yeah, read the book. But there's a
yeah.
lot of shit in there.
Yeah, like if you're a fan of the movie and you want more, you want to experience more of what you saw in the movie. Uh, read the pick up the book. But like I said, just forewarning, it's really really dark and sick and twisted, and you'll probably only want to read it one time, and then you'll probably never want to read it again.
That's Bret Easton Ellis for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yusuf is that shirt? Is that shirt Armani? Is that Armani?
No, it's Valentino.
Oh, Valentino.
It's
Okay.
Valentino Couture.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
It's funny because I used to make that joke at work all the time. Like I did it the other day because I think it was a couple days ago. We had like dress to impress day at work where you like instead of just wearing like business casuals, wear like business formal. And I'm over here like I'm gonna bring out the Valentino Couture suit. It's coming here dressed like Patrick Bateman.
There you go. That's one of the things that like the movie does well, but like when you're reading the book, it really goes like you'll spend like a couple of pages where like they literally go into detail on every single person in the room, detail on every single clothing that they're wearing, who makes it, and what brand it is, and everything. It's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Like there's a whole paragraph just in like a conversation between two people where Patrick Bateman literally describes, yeah, he's wearing like a Valentino suit, a Gucci tie, and like a Versace shirt or whatever. Like he just goes insane with it.
There's even times where they'll even go as far as to give you what the average retail price is on stuff like that. Or when he walks into a room in someone's apartment, he'll have a description of everything that's in their apartment, where you can buy it, what the brand is, who makes it, their retail price on that. It's so fucking insane.
Such exaggerated consumerism.
It literally is, because like these people in this book and in the movie, it's like they're like, it's like they're not human anymore. They don't care about anything human wise. They're just there to consume. They're just greedy, yeah, and they act like they're not even above everybody. Like they're on a whole nother level in dimension below. Everybody else is below them,
to the point where they lose the value of human life to it. That's why Patrick does the things he does, just because he thinks he can.
Yeah.
Or he thinks he can buy like a woman's like love if he wanted to, or he can get anything he wants with money.
Pretty much.
Well, yeah, but also Patrick Bateman, I'm pretty sure, is incapable of love.
He is certifiably a person who suffers from severe mental illness.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it later. But even in the book and the movie, we're not even sure how much is real and what all is actually fake.
And what's really cool about that too, it doesn't only come down to what you see; it comes down to the way the film is edited.
Yeah,
and we'll talk. I don't have it in fact, but I have a little bit of like tidbits of like editing in that movie.
And everything is done like that on purpose, because even the book is made to be ambiguous.
Yeah.
God, I can't say that word.
He's definitely what's called like the unreliable narrator.
Yeah,
or like he's questioning his own.
There's
sanity,
only
so you question everything he's saying.
Yeah, there's only one scene. The movie don't have the scene, but there is a scene in the book near the end where it does maybe possibly hint that at least there's a little bit of truth to his killing, to some of his killing sprees.
Yeah, but the movie is very, very open ended. Of like, is it actually true or is it just in his head type of thing?
Yeah,
and I think
that's what I really love about it.
I'm the type of person that thinks it's mostly in his head, and there's like hints and bits and pieces in the movie as to why that is. And we'll get to this in a second, but yeah.
And like, it's funny because like I watched the movie first before I ever read the book, and honestly, it's like this role was just made for Christian Bale, because when I was reading the book, all I was doing was picturing Christian Bale the whole time, even though the book features somebody else and it's a whole different look for Patrick Bateman. It's just like you're just only gonna hear and see him as Patrick.
Yeah, and it's funny because like you see him as Patrick Bateman, and at the same time you're like, I can see the Bruce Wayne in this. Exactly. Of like the whole thing of just like hiding, this is just what I show the world, but deep down I'm a lot darker than that. I'm a lot more insane than that. I mean, that's Batman and Bruce Wayne in a nutshell. It's just that this version of Batman happens to horribly murder,
be a fucking
degrade,
serial,
and destroy everything he sees.
Serial misogynist.
Oh god,
that's fucking insane. Yeah, but God, dude, Patrick Bateman. Not Patrick Bateman. I even sometimes mix up and say Patrick Bateman instead of Christian Bale. This is like a fucking star-making performance as well. Like easily one of his best things ever.
Yeah, like honestly, it is my favorite Christian Bale performance.
Yeah, for sure. It's the same here.
Yeah, like close to it.
I just fucking love this movie so much. And if you wanted another Christmas movie to watch, this is technically a Christmas movie because it does
it does have a scene that takes place at Christmas.
Kind of like Die Hard. No,
it does have a scene at a Christmas party. So we count it.
And you gotta admit, it's what's interesting too in terms of what this movie is. It's how it's transcended what the movie itself is, and to the point where it's become a meme, and it's the way that Patrick Bateman has been portrayed outside of the movie and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many TikToks I've seen of, like, oh, me on my way to class, and it's just like a still of Patrick Bateman just walking down the office
Of him
hallway
walking with
with
the
his headphone, with
Walkman.
the
Yeah,
Walkman thing on. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like one of my favorite
And
ones. It's like me walking into Disney World, and it's just like that, and it's like but like the green screen is like a picture of like Magic Kingdom.
oh my god, I love that. Me and you've both seen it. I don't know if V's seen it, but we saw probably the greatest cosplay ever at a horror
Oh my
convention.
god, yeah.
This dude dressed up just like Patrick Bateman, and the dude even went as far as he carried around a body bag, and he was just kind of carrying it, and then like he'd walk by these two girls, and he'd stop him, oh, ladies, and then he'd be talking to them, and he'd ask them out for a dinner reservation, and then he pulled out a fucking Huey Lewis and the Noise CD. It was like talking to him about music. It was
Yeah, this dude went all
that
out.
that dude did his homework.
Dedication right there.
It was just the best.
Yeah. But yeah,
Tell
I mean,
me
like,
American Psycho isn't your favorite movie without telling me it is your favorite movie.
like I even to the point where even me and Kyle made a whole meme about it during
Yeah, we
HHN a
did.
couple of years ago, and it was literally all
We
because
did.
of one guy that we saw in a spray tan, in a really
Yep.
bad spray tan. I don't know
Yep.
how, but that led into us making a meme about Patrick Bateman about to kill Paul Allen, and it was the funniest thing ever.
Yep.
To the point where I think I even used it in one of our in our Twitter ones, where I was like, "Oh, you haven't listened to our newest episode yet?"
Oh yeah.
And then it just cuts to Jared Leto's terrified face.
Jesus.
And it's funny because I literally have the whole folder of memes that we made still saved on my phone
Yes.
because they're all
Drop
perfect.
'em.
They're all beautiful and perfect. Especially when I went even further, I was like, "Is that a fake spray tan?" And I just like colored Jared Leto's face yellow.
It was not only is obviously like I said, if you haven't seen it, Jared Leto's also in this as Paul Allen.
So Batman kills Joker
Yep.
in the multiverse.
In the multiverse.
Um,
All because he's not an Einstein Kills fan.
yes, I wasn't gonna mention it until much later, but yes, that is also to the point where IS9 Kills has done a whole song called "Hip to Be Scared."
I mean, honestly, like I have it like this is headcanon for me. I honestly think Spencer's not even just a fan of this. I think he like legitimately feels
like it.
sort of like Patrick Bateman in ways. Like there's
can see
there's things he does, and I'm like, Spencer, I'm starting to question your
sanity.
American Psychos. Like, so I think you might be being a little too far like Patrick Bateman.
Like to the point where that is like when I met him at Skukala, like out of all the pictures that he had that you could pick from, I was like, I want that one from the Hip to Be Scared music video.
Yes.
Where it's literally him wearing, like the
raincoat.
Not the no, he's not
No.
wearing a raincoat. He's just wearing like a rolled up shirt. But
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
covered in blood. But then around, and he's got the axe in his hands,
Yeah.
and all over him are just like dead bodies.
Nice.
And he went so far when he asked me for my name, and he wrote down "Hey Yussef" as like the thing for the autograph.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
like, hell yeah. Followed by
Love it.
"Rest in Pieces."
Nice.
And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
That is pretty awesome.
Much respect there.
But yeah, no, we mentioned that. I highly recommend if you're a fan of any kind of like metalcore music. If you haven't, I'm sure you've heard it. But if you haven't watched the music video, watch the music video for Him to Be Scared, because it honestly like goes through pretty much the entire film. They are so good at what they do when it comes to directing horror movies into music videos.
Oh yeah.
Just shortening it in a
Yeah.
way that's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I like Einstein Kills. I just need to study up on their music more. I mean, I like it, but it's just like a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to get into more of the story itself, I would watch all their music videos.
Yeah, because
The
all their music
all their
videos
videos are all connected. It's all like one connected
are
story.
connected. They have their own story. Like after like the initial music video, there's this whole police thing where Spencer may or may not have killed his girlfriend, and they're trying to solve it. And what's great is Bill Moseley's all
Is a
is in it
detective.
as well as a detective.
Plus, Welcome to Horrorwood had James A. Janice, which was amazing.
Yep. There's just so many, and there's even one. If you don't already know it, the song "Funeral Derangements." It's about Pet Cemetery, the original, and in the music video, they have you see a truck driver driving a truck and he hits a gauge like in Pet Cemetery. Well, if you pause it, the truck driver is literally grown up Miko Hughes, who played the original kid in Pet Cemetery, hitting a kid in the music video that's supposed to be playing him. So it's great.
It's Gageception.
Ah, yeah.
Gageception. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Let's
But anyway, the movie.
get into this movie.
Anyway, the movie's summary, since we got sidetracked a little bit, in New York City in 1987, a handsome young urban professional, Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale, lives in a second life as a gruesome serial killer by night. The cast is filled with detective, the fiance, the mistress, the co-worker, and the secretary. This is a biting, wry comedy examining the elements that make a man a monster. That's
Exactly.
basically the summary. So then we can go on because we're tired of our butchered
We already talked about
summary.
we already talked like some of the people in it, and we didn't even talk about the greatest thing ever. The detective is played by
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe. Willem Dafoe, an amazing.
Like how else can you not like this movie?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy the whole aspect of it. Is because weirdly enough, I'm in the middle of rereading Wolf of Wall Street, so it's like kind of right around that same time. It's a little bit past that. It's like Wolf of Wall Street's in the 90s.
Wait, Wolf of Wall Street is a book?
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
Yeah, I knew it was sort of based on true story. I didn't know there was a book to it.
Yeah, it's like the actual like because I'm reading it's Jordan Belfort's like actual memoirs. Like that's where most of the story comes from.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
It's really.
I
Good.
bet that thing is way more wild than in the movie.
It's like a good mixture of the two. Like there are certain things that the movie expands upon that the book doesn't really show, but then there are certain things in the book that the movie doesn't even touch that are even crazier.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
I love Wolf of Wall Street.
So it's very similar to that in terms of like just unbridled materialism and consumerism and just like get the fuck out of my way. I'm here to make my money, type of thing.
Yeah.
So
but basically, except for they're not, serial killers at night.
No, it's the only difference.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to describe because this movie is just like this man's id just gone haywire.
Yeah. But well, I mean, literally probably one of the greatest scenes and like the basically that tells you everything you need to know about Patrick Bateman is the opening monologue.
Yep, where he literally talks about his whole beauty routine.
Yeah, it's literally one of the greatest monologues ever too, especially when at the ending when he just says the way he ends his monologue is very like chilling.
Yeah, where he's like, "There's an idea."
Oh, like I was watching a.
It's like I may shake your hand, I may smile, you may look at me, but you
may
look
feel
behind my eyes. There's nothing.
You may feel skin as like there's an idea of Patrick Bateman, but I simply am not.
I feel like I was watching a YouTube tutorial this entire time. I'm like, how to live your life as a psychotic rich man.
Welcome to my YouTube tutorial. Here's my morning routine.
Yeah. He does
How
really
to be a misogynistic bitch.
How to be a misogynistic asshole.
He does really good the routine. And do you know that there is actually a Patrick Bateman skincare line that you can buy?
Yeah. And you want to know what I don't know if you've seen it. There's an even funnier version of it where it's Margot Robbie doing it for a Vanity Fair interview she was doing, where she legit, like as a promotional thing for the interview, did a recreation of it.
No way!
And it's so good.
I gotta find that.
It is so good. She does such a good job with it. And so like when it comes to things that I enjoyed in terms of like scenes, I would say kind of the juxtaposition of what like it's like because I was just watching. I was literally like just watching the movie, and there's like this weird thing where most of the guys in this like in this group of friends, they're all like super misogynistic. They're pretty racist. They're some of them are pretty anti-Semitic, and to the point where you're like, okay, they're probably also homophobic. But when they go to a club, there's a lot of gay dancing going on in the club. There's a lot of like LG. You can tell that are people that are like LGBTQ members of the community.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's like
That
an
one,
interesting juxtaposition of like, oh yeah, we're manly men, but then they go to a club and dance to like In Excess.
yeah,
It's like we're here to party. We like bitches, but no homo, man. Like you look great. Like I like your suit. Like
Yeah,
let me grab your balls for a second.
it's very interesting how they like play around with like the whole fragile idea of that masculinity of like, oh yes, I'm looking my best, but I'm it's not like I'm gay or anything. But then they completely like turn around and be like, oh yes, this is my Valentino suit that I paid like so and so much money for. So it's just kind of like interesting how they go out of their way to be so misogynistic and homophobic and racist, but
yeah.
then they're complete hypocrites as well.
And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Brett the guy who wrote American Psycho? Isn't he a gay man?
I am not 100% sure actually. Let me see.
Because
I think he
I thought
might be.
that was a big thing of it because it was like obviously like, because like some of the manly alpha males try and like try and like this and stuff, but then they're all like homophobic, but then it's like it's kind of ironic because you're literally taking stuff that's written by a gay man.
Hmm. I'm looking to
I
see
thought I
right
saw a
now.
post about that recently. Like it was just
Hold
like your favorite horror film is written by a gay man and it was directed by a woman. And I was like, oh damn, wait a second.
I think, yeah, I think that is true. Hold on, let me check.
The cis male be like,
Okay, apparently,
I cannot see actually. Personal life. There we go. Okay,
he
so
did tweet. He did tweet in 2013 as a gay man in a domestic partnership.
so okay, because
Maybe he is.
yes, in 2012 he officially came out as gay.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah. So that
before
makes
that, he had been kind of like he wasn't giving like a straight answer on it.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was not a pun,
yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
So he said
So
that
like
he
makes
said he
sense
did
with
not identify as gay or straight, but was comfortable being thought of as either homosexual, bisexual, or heterosexual, and enjoyed playing with his persona, identifying variously as gay, straight, and bisexual to different people over the years.
yeah. So that one thing makes sense though that your favorite movie was written by a gay man and directed by women. Thing.
So it's like, yeah, by the way, you homophobic piece of shit. The guy who wrote
Yeah.
the guy who wrote the book is gay, and the woman who wrote, first of all, it was also written by a woman. This movie. So like, who's the asshole now, bitch?
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, this opening, the opening skincare routine with the monologue easily sums up who Patrick Bateman is, but also is just really chilling the way it's done, and I absolutely love the opening.
Yeah, and there's also something kind of if you listen to it, at least in certain ways, in like certain inner monologues that he has, where he is also very very childish.
Yeah,
Like there's a scene like there's a specific line in that opening segment where he's like he talks about his like exercise and he's like I think he does like crunches or something. He's like I can do 1,000 now. That's like such a kid thing to say,
yeah.
and it's also obviously the
I
whole
can do
thing,
1,000 now. Yeah.
right? Yeah, it sounds like such a kid thing to say.
Yep.
And again, when you go back to the whole thing of when they're talking about the business cards, right before that, when he talks about how Jared Leto confused him for another guy for Halberstram, He's like, I can see how he did it because we both wear Valentino suits, the same types of glasses, and we both go to the same barber. But my haircut is slightly better.
Yeah.
It's just like,
damn. And then it's funny because then men get on us. It's like, why are you women so catty with each other?
Then fragile. It's just like the fragile masculinity. Ego. To the point where they even make a kind of a joke about that too, and right at the beginning of his first scene with Willem Dafoe when he's talking on the phone about a guy and about buying clothes. So like, yeah, you don't want to mix this color with that because otherwise, the suit will look off and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when when Willem Dafoe asked him, "Oh, was that important?" "Oh no, it was just like basic business stuff. Just chatting it up, spreading gossip, talking about rumors."
Yeah.
So it's just like that's kind of like what the quote unquote stereotypical woman does,
Yeah.
And here it is, these quote unquote manly men doing this.
Yeah.
So it's just like the juxtaposition of everything of like the fragility of the male ego is one of my favorite things about this entire movie.
Besides the monologue thing, one of the also opening scenes where he's at he's at the nightclub and he goes and orders the drink and you hear him he orders the drink but you hear him say like this like really awful thing to the bartender.
She doesn't hear him.
And the movie makes it seem like she didn't hear him, but we're also probably more inclined to believe that he didn't actually say that he said that in his head and stuff like that, and it just kind of shows like, okay, this dude's not all there.
Yep. But again, it's one of those things where like, is he just saying this, or is it just what he's thinking and it's just being shown as if he was saying it? Because there's that.
Yeah.
The whole scene with him and Jared Leto at the restaurant, which like I like to dissect girls.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things where he says something and then like somebody responds like, and it seems like they're either not he either really didn't say that or he did say that and they just misinterpreted it and thought he said something else. Was that whole scene where that girl was like, well, what do you do for work? He's like, oh,
murders and execution.
To murders and executions. She goes, oh, well, do you like that? Say most guys don't like working murders and murders and accusations. And it's like, it's funny because you're like, oh, you're like trying to like, did he actually say that, or did he actually say it? And then she just heard, thought he heard the other thing. Yeah.
Or when he quotes all like the facts about serial killers, and then it's like it just continues on, and they're just like, huh? like.
Yeah. That's one of the insane. Like he knows all these facts about like real life serial killers, and then I love the fact that he does crunches while watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But that was
at the same time is kind of funny because I'm like, I would do that.
What was happening? Yeah, I mean, I would probably do that too. Yeah, but that was also a little bit of a foreshadow of something that was going to happen later on.
Yeah, because this movie is unabashedly violent as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Does not pull punches. Like, there's honestly, like, the only violent scene that I don't like is the one with the homeless man, and it's because of the dog.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anybody warn me about these movies,
Trust
man?
me though. Compared to the book, though.
Compared to what he does in the book, yeah, you don't want to read the book part.
It's rough.
It's rough. It was enough for me to have to pause it while I was at work and take my headphones out and take a break. After that one, I was like, I need to stop this for a minute.
Well, if you guys say that the dog scene is worse, I don't think I want to read it and or hear it anymore.
Oh yeah, there's one scene in the book that's this is not necessarily like bad, but I forgot what the kid was doing in the book, but he straight up fucking murders a kid.
Oh yeah,
and then just leaves his body behind the dumpster. And he does this in public. But he does it where like it's so quick that no one even realizes what happened.
Yeah,
and the kid wasn't even doing anything like that bad. It was just he's just being a kid. But
yeah,
he's
he
Patrick
does it in
Bateman.
like broad daylight too.
Yeah, he does it broad daylight. He literally just fucking stabs and murders this kid, and then leaves his body behind the dumpster. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like in the book, he's way more of a serial killer.
It's a lot more demented.
Oh, there is. I'm telling you though, there is. I won't mention it on here, but there is one thing that he does to this one girl. It's probably the sickest, most depraved shit I've ever read. And that's just putting it lightly.
It may or may not be in the grave robbing facts. I will say that now.
Oh shit! Yeah, because like there was no way in hell they were gonna put that in this movie.
Yeah. But going back to like the technical aspect of it, when it came to like the editing of it, the scene between the first scene between him and Willem Dafoe, where Willem Dafoe is like asking him the questions about Paul Allen and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was shot 3 different ways. So Mary Harron, in the first time they were shooting it, like I think the first day they were shooting that scene, she told Willem Dafoe, "Okay, ask the questions and act as if you know he's guilty." Okay. Second day, act as if you don't know if he may or may not be guilty. Okay. And then the third one was act as if he's completely innocent. And then they literally, when they edited the movie together, they combined all 3 different performances of Willem Dafoe. So so that's why he looks kind of off certain times, and like other times he'll look a little bit more like aggressive towards him. They did it on purpose.
Oh wow!
Just to throw people off, and not only that, just to make Patrick seem more out of it.
That is cool. I mean, Nick told me that while he was watching, like I was watching it while he was in the room. He's like, "Did you know you had to like film it like 3 different times?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, now I see it. Wow, that's kind of interesting."
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that.
And again, it's just credit to Willem Dafoe.
Yep, he's wonderful.
Every time I see him, I just think of Green Goblin and Tobey Maguire. Yeah. That's all I can think about him building.
You know what? I'll let you keep that. I'll let you keep that pretty innocent thought in your head, and not tell you about Antichrist from Lars von Trier. Just later, look up Antichrist with Willem Dafoe later, because it's it's insanity. I mean, it's Lars von Trier. That's all I'm gonna say. Because Lars von Trier is insane.
Now, one scene I remember from the movie that does kind of make you think that maybe some of the murders may be real is when he's picking up his dry cleaning, and there's obvious that there's blood stains on it, and the woman's reacting to it. So it's like, like I said, I love how like they make it seem like where it's like you're wondering like what's real and what's not. It's like it seems that maybe he does actually kill some people,
and then the other
or maybe it's all made up.
Yeah. Like I also do love that scene specifically because of one little thing, very much a blink it and you'll miss it thing. Right when he's about to leave the laundromat and he's talking to the dry cleaners and he's talking to that one lady. Yeah. Right before he leaves and he like turns away from her, you see his face shift to like that blank expressionless face that he does. Yeah. And you can tell that he's been acting with her the entire time. Oh. Like it's one of those things where you literally have to like watch it frame by frame, but like literally right before he turns to like away from her, his face shifts completely to like the same face that he had in like the opening thing when he like takes off the face mask. Yeah. And it's just like so creepy to watch. Because like once you see it once, you can't unsee it.
Huh. I noticed that when I watched it this time around. I was
so like, he's like, oh yeah, what about Saturday? Oh, I can't have a Saturday for me. And then he turns, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Oh. It's wild.
Let's see here.
And that's also why like they kind of cut back to that woman for like a split second. Because she notices it. Yeah. So she's like kind of weirded out by it a little bit because like his face changed so completely. Yeah.
I'll have to look at that scene again.
You literally have to like look at like frame by frame just to like see his face shift again. It's so weird. Yeah. But that's a great scene. there's a good chunk of like random comedy in this movie. Like I think I would say the funniest scene in this movie is when I think it's the second time they go to the club, and him and I think it's Van Patten or one of the other guys are in the bathroom doing coke.
Yeah.
That's
quiet down. I'm trying to do drugs
in here.
Yeah.
And the guy in the stall next to him.
That's the funniest shit.
He just pops over. It's like, quiet down. I'm trying to do drugs over here.
Yeah, it's like literally everybody is doing drugs in there.
And I'm like, that's the 80s.
Because that's also, no, that's not it. I can't remember. Is that the scene where it's I don't think this is the scene. It's the one where he comes across that one guy that thinks that Patrick is coming on to him because he's trying to choke him.
No, that's before that.
Yeah, before that, yeah.
Which again,
that one was hilarious.
Again, going into that juxtaposition of like homoeroticism versus homophobia.
Yeah.
Because like Lewis is like, oh, what's up?
Yeah, Lewis is like, oh,
you want to go?
Yeah, because it's funny because Patrick kind of blows it off, and later on you see Lewis like looking up at Patrick, like.
Not only that, to the point where like he's so prejudiced that he washes his gloves with like hand soap.
Yep.
At the same time, though, the book version of Lewis is kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
because it's like a running joke in the book where like Lewis will keep popping up at like the worst moments during Patrick's whole thing, and just like like there's like a scene in the book where he has like a complete breakdown in the middle of a store and like crying because Patrick said no to him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and like causing a whole scene.
Harris, if you like like what the little bit of comedy in this movie, there's an entire chapter, and Yussef knows in the book, where they spend the entire chapter arguing about trying to figure out where they're gonna eat dinner that night and get reservations to, and they spend the entire chapter figuring out where they're gonna eat at, and they end up losing track of time and not even doing dinner reservations at all, and not even having time to go to the restaurant because it's too late because they've been arguing all fucking night.
They're like arguing with themselves, and then they call this person. They're like, okay, so she wants to go here. Oh no, she hates that place. She wants to go there. Oh man, but I wanted to go here. But I wanted to get drinks there first. It's legit. This goes on for like 15 to 20 pages.
It's
of nothing but arguing back and forth, and people calling each other, and then hanging up and then calling again, and calling the wrong person. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because like when they finally figure out where they want to get reservations, then they have arguments over who's going to make the call, because not everybody wants to make the reservations. And there's even parts in other chapters where they legitimately make plans with some girls, but tell them the wrong restaurant because
they don't know
have other plans. They have other plans of other people that then they forgot about them. So there's just so many reservations going on. It's insane.
It's American reservation.
Yeah, and then there's also a couple of chapters where it'll throw you off because you'll be reading it and you'll be looking forward to the next chapter, and you'll open the next chapter up, and the entire chapter will literally just be a literal deep dive into song track by track of an album. Like there's one for Whitney Houston, there's one for Huey Lewis and the Noise, and it's just like track by track, a deep dive into every song, how it was written,
why
what
he likes them,
what was about, why it was liked, and everything. And you're just like, what the hell? It's like, did I miss something here? It's like. There was like a big thing that just happened recently, and I'm ready for this, and then I'm reading this, and then it don't pick up back up till the next chapter.
Not to mention the whole chapter where he just talks about his audio setup.
Oh yeah,
and he like talks about like what kind of CD player he bought, and like what kind of headphones he uses, and like what kind of like
just everything. That's mansplaining. That is what you call mansplaining.
And it's not even like him explaining. It's just literally him saying, "Okay, so there's this. I have this thing that's when I bought it, the guy told me it has like laser guiding and like laser reading on the disc and all this and that. It's not. It's just him being a nerd about audio equipment.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So funny, but it's also so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah,
I love it.
a lot of the book is like that, and it's like a really like descriptive descriptions of like clothing and stuff. So like
Of like nothing of any value,
some
honestly.
people can see like a lot of the book could be considered boring because you're gonna be kind of bored reading because there's like 3 pages of a description on just what is on a table platter. Like they go word for word and describe every single food that's on the table. And it's like you spend like 3 pages on that.
And
It's
again,
like,
it could be you look at it, and again, it's a whole thing on like the consumerism of it, of like these
yeah,
people have like no personality, so all they do is talk about what they have, and it has no
yeah,
value whatsoever.
that's really all they have. And it's insane because like Patrick Bateman, like in the book and movie, he has a fiance and
That he
or like
cheats on
a
constantly.
fiance that he cheats on constantly, and but he has like no care at all in the world for her. It's like whenever she like is talking to him, he just puts her out and just puts in music and
Yeah,
stuff. And
and
you're just like, how did he even get to that point?
how did he even
That
get a
he
fiance?
even got engaged? It's insane. And then everybody else in his little group, his that all work together, they all have the same thing. They're either married or have fiancés, and they all are with each other. And then there's even some of them that are actually like uh their main girl that they get with all the time is somebody else's wife or fiance. It's
While they
fucking
also have their own
while they
fiance.
also have their own. It's insane. It is so much fucking insanity. But a movie does an all right job on capturing what the book does, but the book's just God just goes so
Yeah.
much into detail.
I will say, in terms of dialogue, a lot of the dialogue in the movie is lifted word
Yeah, a
for
lot of the
word
dialogue literally is word for word
in the
straight from the
book.
book.
Yeah, almost exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
which is great.
oh yeah,
Especially the like a good example of that is the business card scene, one of the best scenes ever, and it's literally lifted straight from the book all the way down to the facial details, which is why Christian Bale does it the way it's portrayed in the movie. That's the way it's described in the book.
look at the subtle off-white lettering. Oh my
Yeah, the
god!
subtle.
I
Oh,
just like I
oh
just love when
my
he uses. Oh
god!
my god!
Oh my god! A watermark.
It even has a watermark.
I made Angela like I made Angela like for Valentine's Day. I made her a bunch of like Valentine's Day cards that I made, and I even made an American Psycho one, and I put that entire quote in it, and I put a little watermark hidden in it, and it was like, oh my god, it even has a
Oh
watermark.
my god!
It's
Aw,
fucking
that's
great.
actually super cute.
I'll have to
I
find
like
it and
that.
post it.
That's funny.
It's fucking great. It's like it's like one of the most proudest things I ever did. But yeah, that business card scene, goddamn, that was fucking
Again, the
great.
most
I love that.
childish thing.
It really was, and it also makes you wonder: it's like, do people on Wall Street really, or the people are they really like this? Do they really give that much shits about
About a
how the
business
business
card.
card looks?
Oh, what kind of color is that? It's bone.
It's bone. It's like, oh, because it's funny because it's like they like spend like all the time trying to one up each other on their business cards. It's like they go to like they go to their nearest Office Depot and are trying their best to get like they're like, oh no, you know what, I did this last time. Come up with this. How about this? How about we do this? And then they fire it up and yeah, check this one out.
I
Shashing.
wonder in a real life scenario, somebody actually cares about business cards like that.
You, you would be surprised. I have seen like some pretty extravagant business cards
Oh
and
man,
stuff.
that reminds me.
And
I wonder, do I have them in here?
it does
Oh my
seem like
god, Yussef,
people.
stop.
No,
No.
no, no, no. I don't have my own business cards. It's it was back when I was
He's
in Home
like, I got
Depot.
this.
No, 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 no. It's not even mine. It was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life, and I kept them. It was at Home Depot. Don't know how this got there, but it was like on one of the desks where people can go and buy, like, where people go sit down and have a meeting to talk about like buying cabinets and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a little stack of yellow business cards. And it was like, they were called like 3 is Everything. It's like the name of the company or whatever. But it was just one guy. And this dude, I swear he was either like one of the most talented people on the face of the earth or somebody completely deluded. Because this man was like, I can be a drummer, a pet sitter, an addiction therapist.
What?
And like it was just like a multitude of job titles on one business card. I haven't seen anything that funny. I have to find them. I know they're somewhere in one of my drawers. I don't know if it's in this one or if it's on like my bedside table. But it's literally like it's like a stack of them, and I still have them in a rubber band because I'm like, I just want to give these out to random people.
That's wonderful.
And just like have people call them and just to see what happens.
You're doing it the man of service.
Like it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, this is like American level or American Psycho level business card right here. I'm gonna see if I can find it and like send you guys pictures of them because it's really funny.
Very nice, Patrick. Very nice. Oh, now let's see Paul Allen's card.
See Paul Allen's card.
God, the facial expressions in that scene. You can see the fucking sweat coming down from his forehead. And it's funny because Paul Allen like has this smug look on his face where like
it's like check this out.
He knows his is better.
Yeah, I do love like 10 scenes later when Lewis is like, check this out. And they're like, cool.
yeah.
And they're like, yeah, cool, okay. You're like really late.
I love how they constantly try to one up each other with business cards. It's like the craziest shit. The smallest thing that you could get.
Oh my god.
It's like there's also, besides business cards, they're also obsessed with each other's apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick loves Paul Allen's apartment, which is why he later kills Paul Allen and takes his apartment.
Which
and like
it's
you look
so
at
weird.
Patrick's apartment and Paul Allen's apartment, and it's like
honestly, Patrick's is much nicer. I think
Patrick's is nicer. Yeah,
Paul's is like kind of small feeling.
Yeah, I think it more has to do with location.
It was a location thing because I actually know when they show the exterior shots of Paul's apartment, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah,
because it's right next to the Guggenheim.
Okay, that's
why he's like, oh, it's mad because he overlooks the park. Because if you're in front of the Guggenheim, if you look straight out, you just see Central Park.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have heard that that's kind of a big thing in New York. People want apartments with a Central Park view.
Yeah, so that's why it was a location thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wanted a Parkside apartment, and it was just funny because I'm like, because if you look at one of the exterior shots, if you look just at the edge of the corner, you can see the top of the Guggenheim.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, now I get it, because it's literally right in front of Central Park. Like, he can go downstairs, down out the building, cross the first road, and he's in Central Park.
Huh.
It's like right there.
What do you think about how, this is another thing where it's like, this man is literally incapable of feeling any kind of human emotion toward anybody. How whenever he picks up like sex workers, he won't even let them, like he has to give them his own name for them. He's like all right, hello, I'm gonna call you Christy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call you. He just makes them up a name on the spot.
Yeah.
It's like these people have no identity around him.
They're just employees.
It's whatever he wants them to be. Yeah.
It's completely twisted. And yeah.
I
was gonna say something.
That whole scene is.
I think I think there's only been like one time that I feel like he's actually shown some kind of emotion, and it's not even a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it was that one scene with his secretary when he, for a second, he was thinking about killing her with the nail gun.
Yeah, but then he stopped.
But then he stopped himself.
Yeah, I thought like even though it's clear that like she's all into him, but I think maybe there might be a tad bit of something something for her.
I think it's because he saw that she was just like more humble. She wasn't like Evelyn.
Yeah,
she wasn't like this like complete bimbo airhead.
Yeah.
Like rich girl.
He hates Evelyn. Now in the book though,